3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Steak Plains Meat. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
I went to the grocery store yesterday, $15.50 per pound for ribeyes.
You could have bought bulk ribeyes for $6.99 a pound the other day.
No, I didn't buy any.
Oh, you just saw that?
I just saw it.
They
I
said
was
there
walking.
was
I didn't
people-
have to get any meat.
A grocery store south of us had a sale the other day, $6.99.
$6.99.
They said there was people standing in line getting them.
What?
Yep, that's what I was told.
I went and got one just because, so I could do
You
prime
dickhead,
rib.
why didn't you tell me you was going? I'd had to get me a couple of them. I forgot.
Mom said y'all were going.
She didn't tell me that, though.
Yes.
Oh, well, I was going to buy 4 of them.
You can't. You and her
I was
going
going to get 2, and she was going to get 2. But anyways, they said there was a line. Somebody went and said, Harry saw me and said there was a line of people.
Not when I went there. I went there the last day of the sale.
Was there very many left?
Yeah.
I ought to call him over there and see if he's got any left.
Hey, dickhead.
He treats us pretty good. We bought a lot of beef off him last year. Anyways, from the land of crazy fucking people, I guess. I used to say land of maple syrup. From Canada, from Ottawa.
It's not Ottawa.
Ottawa, Cory Alkerton. Cory, how are you doing, sir?
Good, guys. Glad to be here. Glad to be on.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So
exciting times.
Canada gets to remove the mask on March 21st,
13 days from
13
now.
days.
12 days.
And I asked this off air, and I'm going to ask it again. What the fuck happens in the next 13 days that makes them masks going to go away? We're going to have just COVID's going to fucking disappear in 13 days or what?
Gone.
I guess so. You know, that's when it's all done and over on the 21st, I guess. So, but lock down the next 13 days. Don't move.
This is the real 2 weeks to stop the spread. It's right now. It wasn't 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
It's right now. We gotta get serious about
This is the
stopping
most
spread.
important part right here.
We're in the home stretch.
I'm telling you, when Fauci and those crazy rich fucking Asians come up with it, and you can say crazy Asians because there's a show called that, or rich Asians, crazy rich Asians. Anyways, you gotta be. I'm trying to be politically correct, trying to change my world. It is not fun being politically correct at all. It sucks. Anyways,
No, it's not.
those crazy ass rice eaters. Can I say that, or is that racist?
I would venture that's on the do not say side.
Well,
also.
Mexicans eat lots of rice. White people eat lots of rice. So why is that just you're being racist? You assumed I was talking about Chinese people.
Were you talking about Mexicans or white people when you?
No, Fauci wasn't in bed with them. Anyways, when they built that fucking virus, they built that fucker to know that if it stays out after 9 or 10 o'clock at night, it's bad. Or that virus won't jump on your ass from the time you walk to your table. And if you sit at your table and you're eating, it won't bother you, but you got to wear your mask to the table. So that's a fucking hellacious virus. But I saw that shit where 13 days. It's just crazy and these fucking. I know a girl in Canada that's a fucking lunatic liberal, and she lives on the opposite side of this country than you do. But her family has bought in, and I saw the other day that for the first time in 2 years, her daughter had a social function with friends of hers from school. 2 fucking years they've been locked up and ain't done shit.
Dude, I've been 2.5 years. So last year I guided. Yeah, last year I got it out in Saskatchewan. I came home. Within 6 days, I bought an engagement ring, proposed to my fiance, and I'm still not fucking married. We've been 2 years trying to have a wedding in my backyard, and they won't allow that.
They won't even let you do it
because I got over 100 people or something. They wanted at one point we could have it, and you had to have tables 10 feet apart, only 4 people at a table. So that means that you got to order twice as many tables, and we got to have it in a tent. It was in the fall. My wedding was supposed to be opening day of duck season. And oh man, it was just the loops we were going to have to jump through to have it. We just said, first year we couldn't have it. Last year we just said, no, we're not having it. It's just, and we ended up having a 1-year-old daughter instead. So, I mean, it's basically like we're married anyways. I call her my wife, it is what it is. Hopefully this year we can do it. Well, after the 21st, in 13 days we can get married. So
yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it's been, and that wears on people up here. You know what I mean? That wears on you after a while, and it's trying, and to see what it's done outside of the whole getting sick thing. I said right from the get go, they're gonna make the cure worse than the cause, and for a lot of people it has.
Well, it's crazy.
It's terrible to see what
and
it's
especially
done.
when you look at Canada. like you're up there, your days are short during this time of year. There's a lot of people up there that have seasonal depression because it's fucking dark and it's cold and it's gloomy for, it seems like 10 months out of the year. And now all of a sudden you can't even go outside and socialize with people. The pubs are shut down. The neighborhood bars have been shut down. And I mean, you know, the social aspect, I agree, has been way more detrimental than the little sniffle that you get. And I'm not, I understand that people have died from this, and you know, so there's a certain percentage of the population that does not do well with COVID-19. I understand that, but for 99.7% of the people that get it, it's a case of the common cold. If you've got it and you've had an adverse time with it, I'm sorry. I know people have lost loved ones, but for the majority of people, it's a case of the common cold. Jeff's got COVID; he's coughing over here. But for
I had COVID, and I'm on Team Ivermectin, pro staff member, and
but the social experiment that we conducted on everybody, it's been atrocious.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it was crazy up here. Like the stupidity around it, you know, with we're gonna open this up. Like my wife used to be a bartender, waitress, you know, right in local little watering hole in town here, and you know, so I got. When COVID started, you know, she lost a lot. It was tough. Like she lost a lot of money. And so she got pregnant and, you know, went on mat leave. Basically, she was going to be making more money on mat leave. And then, you know, to watch what it's done to the restaurant industry up here, it's just crazy. And I mean, it was like minus 35 Celsius, which I don't know. You guys don't know probably what that is. It's damn cold, really cold. And they're opening patios. But you can't go in the bar. So you got snowmobilers showing up and minus 35. Your beer's frozen in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that would be good though.
But there were some warriors. Patios were full there when they said they could do that because people are just sick of it. You know, they got to do something. Got to get out. Got to, you know, get outside of it. So it hopefully, I don't know, in the next 11 days, 12 days, something stupid doesn't happen, you know, but we'll see.
I don't understand this. It says negative 35 is also negative 35 Celsius is negative 31 Fahrenheit.
It's fucking cold.
Fucking cold.
I've never seen that kind of temperature, and hope I don't ever. Yeah. I was in we shut down that first January or February. March is, I guess, we got shut down. It was right during.
It was the end of March.
Yes, no, it was the 1st of March because they were fixing to have the college basketball tournaments, and they canceled all that. We're coming up on our time right now. They were fixing to have the conference tournaments when they canceled it. And me and Michelle were up towards y'all. Matter of fact, I was up by Niagara Falls and stuff. When we got home, and basically we shut down. Texas did. About middle April. I started tornado chasing in April, and I would get out. And
we canceled all of our turkey season. We canceled.
No. I know that, but most of Texas, I mean, everything was shut down through April.
Yes.
And I went tornado chasing, so I would get out because Michelle would give me shit about me getting to get out and go places. In fact, I didn't change much, other than I couldn't go to the casino because they were shut down. But by middle of May, everything in Texas was wide open again. Everything we were doing, there wasn't hardly any masks being worn. Restaurants were open. We were back to normal. And me and Michelle went to the Northeast in October. No, we were there in July. That year we went to July. We went up north in July, and we walked around. No, it would have been the fall, wouldn't it have been? Anyways, when we got to, it was in the fall. It was in October. We went to Boston, and there was cars lined on the road, and I'll never forget all the dust and dirt on them where they had been setting. And all the restaurants there had no inside dining, but all their parking lots were where they were feeding people. And they had tents up. And I thought, you can't go fucking inside, but you can be in a tent with people in the parking lot and eat. This is stupid as shit. Because I'm coming from a place that's basically wide open. Mm-hmm. Texas, by May of the first year, we're coming on 2 years of us doing whatever the fuck we want to do. And it just shocks me that there are places in the world still, like in 13 days, y'all get to take a mask off. I can't believe on an airplane. You know, I've been in Mexico twice in the last month, and there's a lot of Canadians there, and them some bitches, you'd think they were fucking 16-year-old kids and got keys to the parents' booze cabinet because that's the first they had to go to Mexico to get freedom.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, everybody says, you know, we got our freedom, blah blah. You know, everybody was against that convoy and stuff, but then when they go on vacation to the south or where COVID's not existent, they're so happy. And it's like, you forgot that you lost that freedom to, be happy, to do whatever you wanted to do, and then they say, well, you got freedom. We're not, held down here, but I mean, we're limited. And yeah, it's just enough's enough. And what's crazy is there's still people that are all for it, and they'll bitch and moan at you. But the worst part is nobody has followed the rules to a T. Mm-mm. We were locked down here. You weren't allowed to have family, or you couldn't have any more than 10 people over or something like that. Nobody followed the rules. Like people had 11 over or whatever. Nobody followed the rules to a T. So if you can't say nothing, but you still get people barking at you. I mean, not like a hardware store I was talking about in town here. I went in to buy masks because my last one, the friggin' earpiece broke. This is months ago. And I'm buying a pack of masks for $6 or something. And the lady walks in, looks at me. And I mean, I know these guys at the hardware store personally. And she looks at me and she says, well, I thought we had to have masks on in stores.
Bitch, I'm trying
to buy a pack of masks, right? And my buddy Wayne, he says, like, oh, can't you see he's trying to buy masks? She's like, well, if you knew you didn't have masks, you should have called ahead and ordered them and had them bring it outside. Like, are you kidding me? So, and I mean, I'm dealing with that in a small town hardware store. So it's just crazy up here. Maybe I'm the lunatic, I guess, but I don't know anymore. It's wild.
Do you think if Trudeau ran again today in a fair election, because I don't think we have fair elections because we've got dipshit in office now because they fucked us on Trump, do you think he would win re-election in Canada again, Trudeau?
I don't think we have a fair election, but yeah, I think he'd get it. He's brought so many the cities, right? Like Toronto and Ottawa. It's full of liberals. He's brainwashed so many people that they vote for him, and that's what controls it. It doesn't matter. Like he didn't get the majority vote. Like only 33% of the country voted for him. But it's just the major cities vote for him. So Toronto runs the whole damn country. And I mean, he's brought so many votes over on ships. It's wild. Like, I don't know. We'll probably be stuck with him again. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope not.
He's a cocky little fucker. I can't believe somebody ain't drug him out and beat the shit out of that little bastard.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'd hate to run into him.
I would.
I really don't know what I'd do.
I would love, at least y'all. We can't even talk to our fucking president, which he don't know if he's shitting his pants or eating Fruit Loops. So, anyways, but we can't. Nobody gets to ask him any questions. They coddle his old fucking dementia riddled ass, anyways. Which he's not calling the shots, and I think it's pretty open. Everybody knows he's not calling the shots because he don't know what he's doing. But it's just like this Keystone pipeline. We shut off the Keystone pipeline to limit our economy and to hurt it. And then we do the same thing to Russia's, but opening ours up wouldn't help us any, he says. He's a dumbass. Let's talk other things other than politics. That's what we got here. So you are you make calls, and you have a trapping business, correct?
Yeah. So it's a family business. My father is the president or the owner. My mom's the office lady. My brother's my older brother. He runs them, a lot of the company now too. He's calling the shots. I guess my parents are both kind of semi-retired. My fiance, she just started working for us in the office, probably going to take over my mom's position. And yeah, we do wildlife control. If you got raccoons in your house, we get them out. We don't do pest control. We don't do bugs, but I mean, we deal with bats. We trap, we do different things. We trap bears at dumps. We've went up north, trapped wolves, and not all that's been for work, but we have a contract with Hydro One, it's called. It's basically the power generation for Ontario. And a lot of times raccoons, anything that climbs, raccoons, squirrels, possums, they get into those hydro sites and they, ground out on a transformer and blow it up. So we prevent that. We do all of Ontario. I don't know how many guys, like 20 guys full time, something like that. Maybe more than that, going across Ontario, trapping raccoons in the cities, downtown Toronto, Ottawa, all over the place. And we do bats and different things.
How do you do
we
bear?
do a lot of bird control.
You said you do bears also. How do you do that?
We use we live trap them with like footholds.
Okay.
We have foothold traps. So it's some different work. We've had some pretty cool jobs. back in 2017. So I guess I should say there's a trap company called Belial Foot Snare. What it is like a jaw style trap, but it holds a snare, and it when it goes off, as the old jaw style kind of traps, same idea, but it's more modernized, right? And it doesn't throw the snare, but the snare is in the jaws and it comes up onto the foot. And it was made for coyote, they made a bigger one for wolves, and then they made a bigger one, I believe, for bears. Anyways, my dad, I guess, helped design that with the fellow that owns the trap, and sent them all over the place, Australia back in 2002, I believe. And then he sent me, my dad, and my brother over to Hungary with it to train trappers over there in 2017. So that was pretty cool. We got to go to Europe for, I don't know, a couple weeks anyways. Yeah, 2 weeks. Go over there and trap jackals and foxes and all kinds of stuff. Got to hunt over there. Shot a roebuck and shot a couple of pigs over there. It was pretty wild. Whole different lifestyle over there. So yeah, trapping's took us pretty far. It's been good to us, and trapping keeps you in the bush. Being waterfowl hunter, deer hunter. I grew up deer hunting, and the extra time that you spend in the bush, it always makes you better. And my job was basically, I'm a beaver trapper is what I do in the summertime. And, you're spending more time in the bush. You're learning about deer constantly, ducks constantly. You see a lot of duck spots when you're a beaver trapper, So so I the old phone gets a workout dropping pins on duck spots in the middle of July. Thinking, oh yeah, there might be some ducks in here. So yeah, that's what I grew up doing. And, it's made me better. It's, you're always learning. So trapping's good. More people should do it. It's a dying trade, but the nuisance work, there's no money in the fur industry anymore, but the nuisance work, there's money in it. So it's good.
So we're not doing it, and this wears me out on watching shows. We're not relocating these animals. You're dispersing these animals, right? You're killing them.
No. Yeah. Everything's, we don't relocate because the problem can always come back. I mean, we guarantee our work. We're getting rid of the problem. It sucks, at the end of the day, you don't want to kill everything. You don't want to kill all of it. It's maintenance program. And, we can only guarantee that raccoon doesn't come back to that hydro station one way. And, if you're taking a raccoon out of a house and taking it down the street, it's just coming back.
We're going to get somebody else's
they'll
house.
come back.
Well, and that's what happened to my neighbor lady. She's got like a pet door. She's got cats that don't use a litter box. So she's got a pet door so the cats can go outside in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. She was every year in August. It's every year in August. She gets raccoons in her house. Well, to start off with, the city would take them a couple miles out and then drop them off. Fuckers kept coming back. Mm-hmm. So finally,
they'll come back for miles.
You gotta, and it gets rid of the problem.
Yeah, and here you can't relocate. Most people don't know that. Here it's the law because of the spread of disease. You can't. It's illegal to relocate pretty much anything, especially raccoons. Yeah, we had a bad outbreak of rabies not all that long ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. So if you catch your own raccoon and then take it down the road, you're not going to get fined for it. Nobody's going to catch you. But if you got, a big business doing that and you start relocating, that's who they want to find, right? They want to get you for, and then you're going to lose everything. So we don't relocate. We try to, manage wildlife and manage the conflict between wildlife and people. So it's, a lot of times it's not an animal problem. 90% of the time it's a people problem. For instance, the coon's getting in the house through the cat door. Well, close the cat door. It's not the coon's fault. Same thing with garbage. Put a locking lid on the garbage.
Get rid of the bear problem.
It's fixable. Well, yeah, it's fixable. Just people just don't want. People complain about squirrels up here all the time, and squirrels are in my house. Well, you have a warm house and you hung bird feeders from the front porch and it's full of bird seed. Where's he going to go with that bird seed? He threw this off it, It's take the bird feeders down. Especially, I get it in the wintertime when there's 2-3 feet of snow. I got bird feeders out. It's not so bad then. But in the summertime, people got bird feeders out. And it's like, there's lots of bugs and stuff for birds to eat. They ain't starving in the summer. No, people love them squirrels just to watch them and then complain when they chew the wires.
And it's probably the PETA people.
Yeah, a lot of
too.
problems are fixed.
Probably the PETA people too that are the ones that bitch the most. They'd get on to you about killing Fluffy the squirrel any other time, but by God, when it's in their attic, all of a sudden, shoes on the other foot, and we got to get rid of this cute little furry animal that's fucking about to start a house fire.
I watched one of them game warden shows the other day, and they trapped a coon. There was a problem. It was getting in someone's house. So what they do, they drove it. Oh, it's a nice place here. It's got a lot of woods. They took it 4 miles away, blah, blah. There's a fucking house right around the corner down there. It's going to go get in somebody else's fucking house. Shoot it's a coon. Shoot the son of a bitch. I mean, we're not running out of them. They're everywhere. Yep. Trust me, we can show you game feeders around every deer feeder we have around here, and there's a family of coon. We used to have a covey of quail at every feeder. Now we got a family of coons at every corner. Everywhere you go.
Yep.
So
well, I was down in Texas in 2010. We were trapping down there. I was trapping coyotes on deer ranches over in East Texas, Wascom. Wascom and around Marshall. I was over there with my old man. We were trapping, and for like the deer feeders, I've never seen deer hunting like that. Like deer feeders, just crazy. And the amount of coons underneath them was just wild, And down there, you can shoot at nighttime. I never tried that before. You can't shoot night. You can't even discharge a firearm up here after dark. So we went out shooting coons with the spotlights. Man, that was fun. That was one of the best places I ever traveled to. Was Texas.
We corn the roads in front of the lodge every night, just the entryway into here. And I come out here the other night, and there was 50 deer within 400 yards. Just in front of our deer at the lodge, just in the parking lot of the lodge, feeding. We corn them every night, and they come there every night.
That's great.
We're keeping that in our back pocket for when the world finally does end. We can just come out here, and we got 50 deer conditioned.
We got a lot of protein
to just come out. But that's what's interesting is the way Texans deer hunt and the way the rest of the world deer hunts. Like you basically got a pet that is conditioned to go to that feeder at 7:00 in the morning. Like it's hunting, maybe not. We're stretching here a little bit.
We corn that road, and they come to that corn. But when that feeder goes off, them fuckers come out of the woods. You don't even see a deer at 2:00 in the afternoon. If that feeder goes off, them 50 deer, there's been as many as 80 to 90 of them up here in the evening time. When that son bitch goes off, they come in. They're smart. They know. But we're just training our deer better than the other people.
You can't hunt over.
Well, I think my old man caught on to that. He the other day he was out. So like say we still got a lot of snow here. He takes the snowblower on the tractor and plows past for the deer to get to the feeders. And then he gets four tons of corn and piles out with the tractor. So then I think it was just this morning, I had like 28 deer, my mom was saying, that come out in the field. And it's just like clockwork. As soon as you put the tractor in the barn, they just come walking out single file because they don't want to walk through all that snow. So they walk just like a walking path for them. So
if you're not hunting it, is that legal up there if you're not hunting them? Can you feed the deer if you're not hunting them?
Yeah, you can bait deer. You can hunt. I can hunt right over those bait piles.
Oh, you can up there?
For deer. Yeah, we can hunt over bait piles up here. Yeah.
See, in Ohio, where my buddy lives, like you can't even. You got to pull them off like 30 days, or it's turkey. I don't think you can shoot turkey over food plots of all fucking things.
We can't hunt over bait up here for turkey. You have to be 400 meters from a feeder.
How far is that? Like a mile away? Yeah. How far is a meter?
It's a quarter mile.
I don't know. Clue.
3 feet.
I don't know shit about meters.
The 400 meter run is a quarter.
Okay.
Quarter mile.
Right. I don't know shit about meters. I was playing golf one time, and a guy sliced a golf ball into a fucking tennis center where they were teaching kids to play tennis, and he screamed 4. And this fucking lady come out running, and she had a fucking tennis skirt on, and she's fucking full bore running with this golf ball. She comes running at us. And it's him and another guy are in front of us, and I'm in the back cart with my Payne at the time was probably about 12. And Payne's like, Dad, don't say nothing, because that wasn't me that hit it. And she starts chewing on his ass, and she goes, you missed a kid's ear by 6 centimeters. And I'm like, how far is that? I'm like, fuck, are we talking 10 feet? We talking about 100 yards? Fuck, I don't know what it is. And she's chewing on his ass, and so I had to ask her how far that was because I didn't know what centimeter was, and she was a real bitch. So I told her. So I kind of cussed at her. Me and her finally started having fucking words, and then she goes, "Who are you? Who are you?" So I told her I was the name of the head football coach there, a kid named Jason Lavender that I knew grow up, and we left. And so I guess she called the cops on Jason Lavender. But anyway, she was a real bitch.
You just couldn't let it go.
No, I was fucking mad. No, she was chewing on She was chewing on my buddy Coach Steele's ass about what a shitty golfer he was. She goes,
Well,
she goes,
be a shitty
you
golfer.
must not be much of a golfer if you're playing golf here at the Champions Course in Wichita Falls. And I said, well, you must not be much of a fucking tennis coach if you're teaching tennis over fucking there at a free fucking place. So there, it goes both ways.
You just can't let
So,
shit go.
but she didn't bitch at Coach Steele. Then she started bitching at me.
Well, see?
But she threw me when she said, you missed that kid's ear by 2 centimeters. I'm like, well, fucking how far is that, you know? Would we wake up in Germany this morning? We don't know how fucking far. It's an inch. You know, if she just said 3 inches, I'd be like, God damn, that was close. So
Threw me for a loop.
but the centimeters just completely threw me for I didn't know what the fuck she's talking about. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to think. 2 centimeters, is that like a yardstick away, or what we're talking? He missing by half a tennis court. So she invited me into the conversation.
You just couldn't. You low hanging fruit. So what is it? You just carry 22 with you and for the little raccoon?
Well, when we're trapping,
No.
like we use cage traps and stuff like that.
How do you dispatch
Like
them? How do
if,
you
I catch
how do
them
you
in-
get rid of them?
We use like a gas chamber, CO2, just
Right to sleep.
It's like sleeping gas. Yeah, but it's probably the most ethical way.
How do you think you put a gas mask?
They fall.
How you put a gas
Dumb-
mask on them?
Dumb fucker.
It's just no. We just take the trap, put it inside the tin box, put the
All
lid
right,
on.
I got that. But
Hose goes in. Just
so what about when you
Turn
got
on.
a foot trap though?
like a bear.
Like a coyote. If you got a coyote and a foot trap, how the
oh
fuck
yeah,
you ain't putting that motherfucker in a damn
coyote
gas
just-
chamber.
No, but the coyote, you just get a snare pole, put a snare pole, get them around the neck, and then just hold them down on the ground, pick them up, put them in a cage.
Let me tell you what.
Coyotes ain't that bad. Yeah,
What about a mountain lion?
wolves are
Wolves
bad?
are bad.
I don't know. Never caught a mountain wolf. Yeah, I mean, we kind of did a little experiment. My old man's probably considered one of the best or one of the better coyote trappers in North America, probably. And we did a little experiment. They're like a dog, and we were grabbing coyotes and forcing them into the ground with the snare pull on, and yell at them like a dog, yell down, and they would cow. They just cowl right down, relax. You just grab them by the scruff of the neck, fire them in a cage.
Really?
Wolves, on the other hand, wolves are
Wolves know better.
wolves are a lot different.
They're a lot bigger.
Yeah, and well, you have a catch circle, right? When you go up to a coyote on a foothold, he's on the backside of a catch circle. He doesn't want nothing to do with you. You come up to a wolf in the catch circle, he's on your side of the catch circle because he wants to eat you. I mean, he's not scared of you. He don't know what you are. Up north, like big timber wolves, they don't know what humans are. They're not scared of nothing. Trapping wolves is probably one of my favorite things to do. There's nothing like being in the bush with something that wants to eat you too. It's crazy. We set traps one night. We set like 300 snares up about 13, 14 hours north of here.
Whoa, hold on. 13
first
hours
night-
north?
Jeff, they're by Ottawa. They're fucking.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Where you at? North Pole?
Jesus Christ, Jeff.
13 hours
Timmins.
north would be a long fucking way.
We went 8 hours north, and there's still all that shit above where we were in
I can't-
Carrot River.
Where I'm gonna look this up on the map. How far is 13 hours north of Ottawa? Jesus.
Timmins, Ontario.
See, you still got a whole
Yeah,
bunch of
we were
shit.
up there, and the wolves tracked us back to camp.
What?
The first night?
Fuck that.
I mean,
So you
we were in a camp that's like 12 by 12, sleeps 4 guys, and you have one little table you eat at, and the snow's blowing inside the door. I mean, it was minus 43. That's coldest weather I've ever seen. And the first night, I went out to take a leak in the morning. There was like 2 or 3 feet of snow on the little porch we had, and I went out to have a leak, and I kind of looked, off the deck, and it was just like a path around the
where they've been
camp.
circling.
And I said, "What the hell is that?" It looked like they were going around the camp in the dark. So little nerve wracking. Slept with the 22 Magnums. I was on the couch beside the front door, frost blowing in the front door, and I slept there with 22 Magnum for a week or two, anyways, in the bush. It was fun though. You get
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
You froze up a little bit. If you can hear me, it might be ours.
13 hours. God damn, that's almost to James Bay.
Well, yeah, you got all that fucking area up there.
There's
Jeff.
not very many roads or towns up there.
Oh, there's plenty up there.
Oh, there's not. I'm looking.
Canada's got a great infrastructure. We lost you. We lost you
during the story when you told us from Timmins, Ontario on.
No, you were sleeping with the 22 mag.
Yes, you're sleeping with the 22 mag by the door.
That's where we lost you.
Yeah, so I was saying, it's a little nerve-wracking, being that far in the bush, like, where there's like 6 feet of sugar snow, they call it up there. I mean, you jump off the snowmobile and you're right to your armpits in snow. Ooh. So we did kind of 2 experiments when we were trapping wolves like that, was baiting in the bush, have a bait site like a moose hide, and just surrounding it with snares. So, because when you kill a couple wolves, they're leaving. Mm-hmm. They're smart like that, where, like I said, coyotes are harder to catch because coyotes are calculated, right? They don't make mistakes. Every step they take, where wolves are ballsy. They'll step anywhere.
Now, is that just because that wolves know that they're an apex predator and they can go in harder than a coyote?
Yeah. The wolf has no fear.
Right.
They have no fear of man. They don't know what man is really when you're that deep in the bush. So they really don't care what you are. Where coyotes, you'll never get a coyote to step on a stick. I don't know if that picked up before the break there, but you'll never get a coyote to step on a stick.
Really?
He doesn't want anybody to know he's there. He's never going to break that stick. Where a wolf will step on that stick because he doesn't care if anybody knows he's there.
Right. He's a big
they're ballsier, so a little easier to catch, but they're still smart. Like, I'm not taking anything away from wolves. There's a different kind of style of trapping. So the experiment we did was bait in the bush, surrounded with snares, or like I said, there's like 6 feet of snow. So we took the snowmobiles and we have a sleigh off the back. One guy drives the snowmobile, the guy in the sleigh, the guy drives beside a tree, and you hang a snare off the tree and then drive to the next tree. And you do that for so many hundreds of kilometers and you loop yourself back to camp. So we did that because wolves are always path of least resistance. They're going to run the sidewalk, right? If you have 6 feet of sugar snow and you just drove a sled over it, they're going to run right on top of that path. So it was kind of neat. We were catching wolves. You're zigzagging down the old logging roads and trails and stuff, and you're cutting the trail. And then 3 days later, you're catching wolves. You're kind of trajecting them right through the snare, right? So it's pretty neat. It was. I still say that the bait sites worked better, but it was pretty cool nonetheless, just to trap wolves and find that out. So
what did you stock these bait sites with?
Moose hide.
Moose hide, and you just throw it out
hides, there. Yeah, moose hides, old deer hides and stuff. Yeah, you just throw them out there. Well, you just don't throw it. You wire them or chain them to a tree somehow because they'll just take off with it, right? So you want to keep it there. So put a piece of rebar, jam it into the frost. So. Yeah.
And you were up there only that was your sole mission up there, was only to trap wolves.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so that was just on a buddy's trap line. Yeah. But it's where he moose hunted also, and there's hardly any moose left. The wolves have ate themselves at a house and home up north. Like we caught 7 or 8 wolves in one trip. Brought them back, did ecropsies on them, had some doctor do ecropsies on them, and opened up their stomachs. And what we found is that they're starting to eat each other. Oh, they're almost cannibalistic. Because wolves are one of the only animals that thrive in the winter and starve in the summer, where everything else seems to do better. The wolf only has 2 sources of food, beaver and moose. So in the summertime, the beaver just goes to the water, the moose just goes to the water. A moose outswim a wolf any day of the week. So in the wintertime, the moose goes for the lake. They just get them out on the ice and kill them, right? Mm-hmm. So in the wintertime, they can kill moose a lot more efficiently. And then in the spring, the beaver will have his hole where he comes out when he runs out of food in his feed bed. So they just pick off beaver. So they gain a lot of weight, and in the springtime is when you're going to find your big wolves. And it's crazy how much weight they'll gain. They're not double their weight, but they'll put a third of their weight back on. We were catching wolves that are huge, like they're big wolves, but they're skinny, so they're only weighing like 70, 80 pounds. Maybe I think one we caught was like 94 pounds. But come springtime or February, that wolf's probably 120 pounds, maybe more. They're a big animal. They're powerful,
tall, lean animal.
Have you seen that one video of the wolf that's on the highway, and like he comes over? That motherfucker. If that video doesn't send shivers down your spine, he's fucking big and he's scary looking. because like
biggest wolves in the world.
He's got headlights on him, so his eyes are kind of glowing a little bit. And I'm telling you what, that is 100 pounds of do not fuck with.
So when you go to these and you got a wolf and he's on a leg snare, you don't ever worry about that motherfucker coming undone when you're going to put him down.
Trust the process.
A little bit.
Trust the process.
Yeah. I don't know if you're not worrying about it, you're gonna get bit. The minute you're too comfortable with an animal like that, right? You're gonna get bit. So you never want to be too comfortable with it. But one problem we had when we were trapping wolves in the fall with leg holds on the logging roads, we were having a problem with guys shooting the wolves. We were testing different traps and wanted to see what works, and if there was leg damage, we were letting I guess there was trap agency know, like, if there was any damage to the wolf's leg. If there is, then that trap doesn't get approved for use. So we were testing these traps, so people were shooting these wolves. So I mean, we want to see what the wolf's reaction to the trap is. We wanted them alive. So what we were having to do was put them on chain drags, like a 9-foot, 10-foot chain, and put a great big treble hook off them, like a 1/2-inch steel treble hook. And so they drag the trap off the road so nobody sees them, and then they get caught up on something. I mean, you can go find them because they just destroy everything through the bush. They mow everything off where they get hung up. And I wasn't there, but the biggest one or the coolest one we ever got was a big black one. And my brother and my dad were wheeling up to where the trap was, and they seen the dirt was all tore up. They had one. They were about to stop, and all of a sudden the wolf, he was in one side of the bush, come running right across in front of the truck with the dragging the chain, and went off and it was a great big black one, yellow eyes on him, just like something you see out of a scary movie, man. It was huge wolf. Like, my old man's 300 and some pounds, and he's got it in his arms after we shot it, and it was like, it's a big animal. And people say we got wolves around here. We might have like coy wolves or whatever they call them, red wolves. We ain't got timber wolves down this far south. When you see a timber wolf, you know it, because those things are huge. They're killing machines. And there won't be any livestock left around if they're here.
What do their hides go for? What's a wolf hide go for?
Nothing.
Worthless?
Yeah. I mean, they still worth something. Coyotes used to be worth something too. They were, a few years ago, I was doing good on coyotes until Canada Goose coats there. They dropped using the fur trim, the coyote trim on the hoods. They dropped that, so fur prices went to shit for coyotes. They're not even worth skinning anymore, so it's too bad. You see lots of guys throwing out coyotes. I skinned a coyote one time. A guy shot it with a shotgun, but it was a beautiful red coyote, and I skinned it just because I thought, it was damaged, so it'll go in the damage pile, but I'll still get probably top dollar of the damage pile because it was just a beautiful red. And because of the royalties we have to pay to sell it to the government, to sell it, the government charges us a royalty. I ended up having to pay 17 cents to sell that coyote.
What is a wolf? What does a wolf go for?
$100 maybe.
I need to get me
$170.
one of those. I'd buy me one. I'd buy a wolf. Why are you looking me up like that, Randy?
Tan. So that's where the industry is, where the more money is tanning it yourself and then selling the tanned hide. That's what people like yourself will buy, to throw on the back of the couch or something like that. Tanning it's a whole different ball game. I just skin them and flesh them and sell them to the fur auction, right? But I've tanned a few. It's a big process.
What's a tanned hide? $500?
Yeah. I don't know. Probably. I haven't. It's been so long since I even looked it up. That's because they haven't been worth anything. I mean, we stopped skinning them just because they ain't worth it.
I'd buy a tanned wolf hide. Andy's laughing at me.
I wish I had your kind of money, Jeff. I wish I had your kind of money.
Well, you won't have my money because I'm going to spend
you're
it all
gonna
before I die.
fucking blow it on wolf hides.
I'd buy me one. I don't have that. I've got
That's
everything
gonna fucking rot, and I'm gonna have to throw it away when you're dead.
I've got mountain
hair's
lion.
gonna be falling out of it. I gotta throw it away.
I got mountain lions.
Hope that $500 was worth it.
I would like to have one. I'd put one in my office. I think it'd be pretty cool.
You need to get a buffalo hide.
I'm supposed to go down to see Dusty and Alex Babalos there. So if I go down there, I'll bring you a wolf hide down.
No, I'd damn sure put one up, and I'd be proud to have it too. So, okay,
are they making their way south? Because
dumbasses want to reintroduce them.
Because you said they've basically eaten themselves out of house and home up there. Are y'all are they making their way into southern Canada?
Yeah, I would say so. We're probably going to see them here eventually. Yeah. I mean, we always had bears here, but now we got crazy amount of bears here. We never had really moose around here, and now we're seeing all kinds of moose.
You think that's because
everything's
you
pushing?
think that's because the wolves have pushed the bear and moose down?
Yeah, well, yeah, and there's other things too, logging and stuff like that. I mean, logging's good though too. You know, it for regrowth. That feeds the moose and stuff. But I would say wolves have something to do with it. They're pushing things south.
Sure. Especially the western states, those idiots feel sorry for them starving fucking moose or wolves, so then they want to reintroduce them, and they're eating up fucking Yellowstone in places. And my advice to anybody that lives anywhere that's got a moose, shoot that fucker. I mean, a wolf, shoot that fucker. Just let it lay. But because they're gonna kill everything out. They're gonna eat every fucking thing up. They're like fucking Democrats. They ruin everything.
So why do you think that it followed you back to camp? Just because you were something that it didn't know if maybe this is a possible food source and we got to go scope it out?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're burning so much energy. Any smell that they're not used to, they're following it. We probably had something on us that they like, and they busted us too. They avoided all our snares. We had to reset all our snares. I mean, that's where trapping gets tough. If you get busted like that, you got to clean everything, set it all back up again. It was a lot of work. And I mean, you're doing that, and it's also minus 43. I mean, you take I have big wolf or moose mittens on. You take them off, you're getting frostbite in 2 minutes if you don't get your gloves back on. So it's not an easy process, but I tell you what, it was so long ago I start to forget about it, but it was pretty cool when you're that far in the bush and the mountains and stuff. It's neat.
So it made the connection that this odor that I'm smelling is human, and I need to avoid it when I smell it out there. Because it's not anything that I can eat, so fuck it, I'm not even gonna bother with it.
Yeah,
jeez,
they probably just smelled something on it, and I mean they walked around every snare.
Wow,
it was just crazy. Every one they come to, they just go around it, and it was something that was on my gloves or my hands or whatever. You got to be quick, especially with coyotes. Coyotes, like usually wolves don't. That's where wolves are pretty smart, but coyotes, I mean, you can get busted so easily. For instance, like when I'm setting a foothold wolf trap, my old man always taught me, do not put your knee on the ground and do not put anything on the ground. If you take your hammer and I always set with one glove on and one bare hand. My bare hand touches the tools. The glove hand only touches the trap.
Wow.
So the cotton glove doesn't have any scent on it. If you touch your knee to the ground, that coyote's going to smell it. You drop that hammer on the ground, don't put it back. We always try to keep the handle up on the bag or the pail or whatever you're setting out of. Keep it off the ground. You put that handle on the ground, he knows you're there. And if you're over that trap, if it takes you more than 2-3 minutes to set a coyote trap, he's going to bust you every time.
Do you have to boil your trap? Do you have to boil your traps?
Yeah, we used to boil them and then, dip them. And it's like a dye. We dye them. But now we have all those little foot snares like I was talking about that we endorse and we use. We got them all in stainless steel now, so we don't have to do nothing. They're preset, we set the poundage on everything. We handle them with brand new sets of gloves every time before we go out. So they're ready to go. You get out there to be an efficient coyote trapper, you got to have everything ready, organized to go. Get out there and get them in the ground quick. Get back in the truck and get going.
2 minutes.
Less scent, the better.
2 minutes is all you have.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes. You got to pound them in.
What about a wolverine? Have you caught very many wolverines?
I have not. No, I haven't caught a wolverine. I don't even know if I've seen one alive. I know I've got a few rugs with buddies that have killed them, but no, I've never seen one. Never caught one. Caught some. My brother caught a badger over in Europe. They're like twice the size of our badger. It's
that'd
crazy.
Be a mean fucker there. That would be a wolverine.
Like it dug. We caught him at the bottom of a tree, and it dug like a 4-foot trench all the way around the bottom of this tree. I've never seen anything dig like that. It was crazy. So, and there are foxes over there. They're red foxes, twice the size of our red fox. Really? And they're just beautiful. Oh, man.
I've got a red fox
animals.
that he lives in my neighborhood. I see him.
You have a gray fox.
No, he's red.
No, he's gray.
No, he's gray.
He is a gray fox.
He's gray. He's a cute little guy.
See, Andy tries to lie to people here. I had to straighten him out right there. Did you hear that?
No, I'm pretty sure he's red.
He's
Jeff.
a gray fox. They just have a red tint to him sometimes. Trust me.
Well, fuck. I got a red gray fox.
It's a gray fox.
Yeah.
There's house cats that are bigger than he is. I mean, he's a tiny little fucker.
Yeah, little guys.
They make
my brother caught
They make good pets, they say too.
Fox?
Yes. I've seen them up north where people actually make pets out of them.
Now, is this a red gray fox or just a gray fox or a red fox?
I'm talking red foxes up north and Arctic foxes in Alaska. You've got a gray fox. That's
I've
what
got
we
a
have
gray
down
fox
here.
that's red.
They just they have a rust tint to them.
I'm gonna look this up.
If you see a real red fox, I just had this fucking conversation with your mom the other day because we saw one by the house,
and it wasn't red.
Like,
it was red, but it wasn't red.
Fox? I go, that's a gray fox. We had to look it up. And then the game,
So
Lone Star Law had them on, and I showed her the difference. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be a gray fox. We caught them in
thank
Texas.
You, Cory.
They got a gray back. They'll have red on the sides. That's why you think it's a red fox. But they're a lot smaller and they have a gray back.
Well,
yeah, gray or dark back on.
That's the score now is 116-2. 116 times I've been right. 2 times Andy's been right.
So I wasn't lying to people. I thought I legitimately had a red fox. I did not realize that a gray fox were also colored red.
They have a rust color to them, yes.
Or otherwise known as red.
Did you see a picture of a red fox? When you see a red fox, you're just like, oh, that's a red fox.
Well, I keep getting the comedian.
So, well, he's a funny fucker. If you see him walking down there, he would let me know. I'd like to go visit with him. See if he can take Dad along with him, too.
Yeah.
Hey, what about you catch lynx?
So my dad caught a 27-pound lynx. I think it was 27 pounds, something like that, in a wolf snare, and we got a full body mount of it jumping for a ptarmigan. It's cool. Yeah, they're really beautiful. Their fur is so soft, it is crazy. They're worth money. Lynx hides go for quite a bit.
Do y'all have many bobcats where y'all are at or not?
Not like Texas. No, we don't have the odd one around, but you guys have lots down there.
I saw bobcat just a minute ago coming in. That's our first bobcat I've seen in 2 months probably. I don't see bobcats like I used to. I don't know if we have the numbers are down right now on them, but I mean, usually it's not nothing to see a bobcat. I mean, it's pretty common. I mean, it don't happen every day, but if you've seen one every day for 2 weeks straight, I used to see them in the morning doing good. Anytime I'd scout for geese, especially if I go by an old homestead or something, old abandoned house, you'd see some around. But I haven't seen bobcats this last 2 years like I used to see. And I saw one today.
They're mean bastards.
Boy, let me tell you,
trap.
I tried to make one a pet one time, and that was a big fucking mistake. That fucker was about 6 weeks old. And it's like having the Tasmanian fucking devil got loose in the house. And that was, I was going to get it declawed. I called a vet, was going to get it declawed, and I was going to have I had it all figured out. I was going to get a bright orange collar for it. And he was going to ride around in my truck with me and scout geese in the morning and shit. The thing lasted about 4 days at the house, and I took it to a lady that was a rehab lady. And I let her have the case and everything. I didn't even want to take it out of the dog crate. I said, here, you can just have the crate. That was the meanest son of a bitch I've ever been around in my entire life.
It was fucking, you would just walk. We had just had, Dylan was just born. She was a couple months old. My son had just been born. It's like, this is not a good idea. Like, you've got grandkids that are just football at this point. You can't have a fucking wild animal around a fucking defenseless little baby that's just now learning how to roll over. That's a terrible idea. You would walk past that cage and it would just fucking lunge at you. You're like, you mean little fucker. There's no amount of time on this earth that you can spend with this animal that's going to make it just put an orange collar on it and ride around looking at geese.
Let me tell you something. I was going to have it at the lodge, just run around in the kitchen and shit. Wrong idea. But that was leverage is all that was. Michelle got so much leverage by that because I had wanted one forever and the opportunity arose. So she gave in knowing it was going to be a failure. So later on in life, she could say, you know what, I need a new Louis Vuitton bag. Remember when we got that bobcat? There's always a reason why. So I figured it out. It wasn't because she was really being caring about me, what my want was. It was that she knew it was going to fail, and she could use it for leverage later.
Well, and the vets knew it would fail, too, because Jeff wanted to get it declawed, and they're like, no, if hypothetically we have to introduce this back into the wild and it doesn't have its claws, well, it's basically a death sentence. So, that was the vet's way of saying, we're not going to take the claws out because there's a better than good shot that it's going to have to be a wild animal here in the next couple of weeks. And it needs something to catch food with.
That mean little bastard didn't need fucking claws. That some bitch was meaner than shit.
Didn't it shit like just smell putrid?
Oh God Almighty! And then it was horrible. I thought it'd use a litter box. It was a bad deal on my part. I mean, it was
a rough week at the Stanfield house.
Oh, it was bad. I was so happy when I called this girl. And I was like, "Hey, have you ever reintroduced a bobcat?" No, I've always wanted to. Well, let me tell you,
lady.
I'm rehabbing one that we found in the woods and dropped it off to her. I mean, I did. I met her at the fucking old Kmart parking lot in Wichita Falls, me and Coach Steele, and I had that thing in a kennel, and I was afraid that somebody's going to eat its way through the damn dog crate in the back of my pickup. I almost put it in the very back of the pickup. I put it in the back seat. I was like, you let me know if that little bastard gets out so we can get out of this fucker.
It's like they're riding with Michael Myers in the back seat, just like always, like, fucker's going to come get us.
I did. I gave him that crate, her and her boyfriend. I go, here you go. Well, here we'll put him in this crate. I said, no. I want to donate this to Habitat for Humanity or whatever you call your place. Here you go.
Take it, lady.
And she, oh fuck. I asked.
Oh man, you guys from Texas are crazy.
So 6 months later, I messaged her. I said, hey, how's old Roscoe doing or whatever I was going to name him? I can't remember. Paco was what I was going to name. Paco was going to be his name. So how's old Paco doing? Well, Paco will only let my boyfriend feed him, and he only likes to eat raw chicken. I was like, okay. And he's very temperamental. Yeah, that motherfucker was a temperamental son of a bitch when we dropped him off to you.
The shit we do for entertainment.
Yeah, they're.
Now I would buy
my buddy in Texas.
I would buy a pet bobcat if someone had one that was completely trained, housebroke and stuff. I'd pay good money for one right now.
You still can't. I mean, there's a wild side to these fucking animals that just think about it. You've got.
I chase tornadoes for fun.
You've got a 1-year-old granddaughter. Do you not think that bobcat is going to see her coming around the corner like, all right, I got this one sized up, just fucking pounce on her?
I said one that's housebroke completely.
Jeff, it takes generations removed from the wild. You can't just pluck one out of the wild and expect it to. Cats aren't even fucking domesticated. All they want you to do is clean their shit box and throw them food every once in a while. If a fucking cat doesn't want to be pet, forget about it. It'll beat the shit out of you.
Have you seen them Egyptian cats that you can get? They're pretty cool looking. They're wild looking. Have you seen those? I thought about buying one of them right now. I'm never having another pet. Ollie's the last pet we are ever going to have. And that was Michelle's idea. We wouldn't even have him. And then he's become my dog. But anyway, it'd be a cool deal. So have you ever had a time when you were trapping that something got off when you were fixing to go gas it or shoot it or whatever?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had one time a coyote. I went to take snare pole off him, put him in a cage, and the snare pole had backed, like the cable on the snare pole backed off too soon, and I had no real option. I was getting $100 a piece for him alive to sell them to dog pens. They run them with dogs, and I went to grab him, and the snare came off, and he turned over, and basically just. And I was like 18 or something like that. And it just turned into a wrestling match with a coyote. He fucking bit me too, right on the hand. He got me good, but I ended up getting him into the cage. And then the funniest time was we were building. I was like, probably 15, 16 years old. And I put I caught a skunk, and I put him in the gas chamber. And we were building my parents' new place and shop at the time. And this lady truck driver was getting delivering our trusses for the house. So I got the skunk in the gas chamber, and she's back in the transport in the yard, dropping the trusses off. And I go grab the skunk, and I'm, trying to avoid her, and I just, it's dead. Its eyes rolled back, tongue hanging out, and I just pull it out of the cage. I throw it in the back of the four-wheeler, and I'm going to go bury it. So I pull up to her, and she can't really see the skunk it's like the dump box on the four-wheeler or whatever. She can't see it. And she needs me to sign something. So I jump off the four-wheeler that's sitting behind me, and I go over and I'm signing for the trusses. Well, skunks, one thing, they hibernate, right? So this was, in towards the springtime, and this can happen well into May and June. When they wake up, their system takes time to speed up, and you can put them back into hibernation mode, gassing, and you can't kill them. You can eventually kill them. You got to gas them for like 30 minutes. So I didn't even realize this guy just went back into hibernation mode and looked dead.
Shit.
So all of a sudden I'm signing the papers, but to hand it to the lady, and she's just she can't even talk, and she's pointing behind me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I turn around, and the skunk is literally standing on his hind feet. And he's just wobbling like something, you know, you see on TV. Just looks drunk. And I was like, holy shit. I put the four-wheeler in neutral and just pushed it down the hill in our yard and out into the field. It just rolled away. And that skunk eventually jumped off four-wheeler and got away. I was like, well, that's the one that survived. So, yeah, that was a couple close calls. But, yeah, we've had, oh, shit. What was it? This past winter. I get a call about this old like townhouse or something like that. You know, they didn't have enough money to fix it up, but they had coons in the attic. So we said, okay, we'll do it for free. Help this lady out. We get a call from, and there's of course right next to it's a daycare. We get a call from the daycare, and they say there's a coon hanging out of the soffit. I thought, okay, yeah, like I've heard shit like that before. There can't be a coon hanging out of the soffit. These things climb for a living. Yeah, well, we pull up, and it had big female coon had got her ass wedged in the soffit, and she's hanging upside down. She's been hanging there for like hours, maybe all night, and she's stressed out, pissed off, and she's also on the second story. So I put a ladder up beside her, and we put two ladders. My brother goes up one side, I go up the other, and I wore. They're supposed to be bite-proof gloves. Yeah, well, they ain't bite-proof because she's hanging upside down. My brother goes to put a snare pull on her, and she's fighting the snare pull. She's hanging, so she got both hands good to go upside down. And I just, I'm 20 feet up, so I just said the hell with it and just grabbed her right by the neck and stuffed her against the building, ripped her out of the hole. She turned, latched onto me. I come down that friggin' ladder, and she's just gnawing on me. I get to the bottom of the ladder, and I don't know what the hell happened. I look at this young lad. And this young lad, he's like 21. He's been working for us for like a year or two. He looks at me like he's having a panic attack because I got this coon just crawling up my arm. And I said, I got to put it in a trap. I got a goddamn daycare right beside me. So I go behind the truck and I throw the coon like just so it's going to run in the backyard to get rid of this problem. And then we'll just tie this up. It goes like a flying squirrel and just wham, hits the ground. It's dead.
What?
It had a heart attack.
Oh, shit.
Apparently.
Oh.
It had a heart attack. Now
you got a dead coon
with a daycare. A kid's on the edge of the fence. And I'm like, oh, my gosh.
What are we going to do now?
Yeah, that was a funny one this year. But I ended up getting bit. Had to get shots and whatnot. But, yeah, we deal with every year there seems to be. And I'm always the one that's where I come in handy for those stupid jobs. That's my role in the company.
Cory up there.
My brother's the brains.
What's the biggest bear you've caught?
My dad caught one 475 pounds at a dump. I shot one 290 pounds a couple years ago. So they don't get monstrous. Well, I had one that come to my bait. Big bears, hard to kill. They're smart, right? They get big for a reason, just like Anthony. And I had a monstrous bear on the bait. He would have been over 5 for sure a couple years ago. 2 years ago, and I seen him once this year. He came through my camera once, and right away I knew it was the same bear. So it. But yeah, 475 pounds, the biggest one I ever seen.
The Oklahoma record, and I'm assuming in Oklahoma the bears don't hibernate as much because it's not as cold. It's over. I think 670 pounds is their state record bear in eastern Oklahoma. That's a fucking monster ass bear. A 200-pound bear is big to me because everybody in Texas thinks bears are going to eat your ass every time you go in the woods. We're scared to death of bears, because we just kind of like people up north think pigs are going to get them. We're the same way with bears. But, yeah, 675-pound bear pretty close to it is a state record in Oklahoma.
He got it with a guy got it with a bow also.
What did it weigh?
675.
Okay. That's a big.
I think they got one up here over 7.
Wow.
Not all that long. Yeah, it's crazy.
We had a kid on from North Carolina or South Carolina, and they killed something that right at 1,000 pounds.
What is their temperament whenever you walk up to them? Are they
pissed in a foothold? Yeah. I got a video from when I was a kid, and it's on a snare that's tied to a tree, a foot snare. So it's got like a 3-foot lead, and they got like a 6-foot wingspan, right? It was like 5-6 feet up in the tree when we got there, and it just deleted everything around this cedar tree. Like it mowed it off. Looked like it took a brush hog. And we got there, it was in the tree, and my old man went to walk around, and I'm running the camera. I'm looking at the screen, and in a split second, it came out of that tree and swung with its offhand, and I got it on video, and it's old shitty video, those old cameras. and it missed my old man's leg by like inches. It swung at him.
Wow.
Oh, it was mad.
And their power. I mean,
Yeah,
a leg sweep like that, and you're in a world of hurt.
Oh yeah, you're losing something. Anyways, but yeah, they're crazy powerful animals, and they're mostly docile. Like I had one come right up the tree this year bear hunting, and I had to spray him in the face with bug spray get him back down. That's a little nerve wracking. It was like 250-pound bear. It was on my Instagram. I was taking videos of him, and then he started coming up the tree, and I was like, okay, put the phone away. He came right up the tree. I sprayed bug spray, and he went right back down and started eating at the bait. They just don't care.
It's on your Instagram now?
But they're smart. No, it was on my story. I might have it. I'll send it to you.
I've seen the videos of the guys like in the tree stand or whatever, and the bear just straight up there, and what do we got up here? It's like, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here.
Bear hunting's a love-hate thing, right? Like, they're a very docile animal. It's not the funnest thing in the world shooting them, but I love eating bear. They're good eating. A nice, like, 200-pound bear, 250-pound bear is nothing better. And they got to be managed too. They're hard on fawns around here. They're hard on deer populations, so I don't mind hunting them. And but it's exhilarating, I guess. You get a bear coming in underneath you, but they don't see real good, so they'll look right at you and they can't make you out. They smell good.
They're like pigs then.
They stand like it don't even matter though wind direction. They're gonna find you. They know you're there, and they're gonna circle in behind you. And once they figure out, it's just another guy. They come in. Big bears, they'll stick away until the little bears come in and see if any little bears get shot, and then you might get a big bear to come in. But yeah, no, big bears are real smart. I had 3 at one time all around me, and it was dark this year, and I had to get out of the stand. And I sat for like an hour after dark. And I'm texting, I'm yelling at them, get out of here, and they don't want to leave. They're eating bacon grease and donuts. They ain't. They love that shit. Too.
Fuck you! I'm not that afraid of you.
Have you seen the video of the bear that pops himself in the nuts? The video.
Oh yeah,
he hit himself in the nuts.
Yeah, he's pulling on something like a strap or something. That fucker comes up, and that somebody hits him right in his cods, and he grabs his balls. He's rolling. He's whining and shit and holding his nuts.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that would hurt. It hits him good too.
Maybe it's a board or something, but he's pulling on the son of a bitch, and it fucking breaks loose. A whack right in the nut sack, boy.
I thought it was like a driveway marker.
Maybe that's what it was.
Peg, and he's scratching his back.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I think he scratches his back on a fence post, and he moves his foot, and it was like a driveway marker that was bent over. And it comes up and slaps him. I'm
watching it.
He's
just destructive little fucker. I mean, he's just. I missed it.
His balls get destroyed. He does. He's like,
he is. He's got some wire, or some sort of cable. I got him right in the nuts. That's awesome. They're just fucking. Yeah. They're so funny. They're so cool to look at. I mean, they look like
very awesome animal to watch.
Just like that. They look just like a overgrown lab or something like that.
They're just
and that's what makes the hard part, especially when you see little ones.
It
makes shooting them it's tough. And then they have their death moan. You don't hear people, like, guys don't talk about that too much in bear hunting, like, oh my god, if a liberal ever seen that, they'd lose their mind.
Moan?
But
that's tough.
Yeah, they get roaring. I nailed the one I shot 2 years ago. I shot him with a crossbow, and he went 20 feet. He died where I parked my four-wheeler, which was perfect. But you should, like, within 20 seconds, you should have heard that moan. It goes on for, like, 1-2 minutes. But it's kind of like, it's surreal. It's different than shooting a whitetail. Or, like, I find shooting a whitetail after you got the jitters or whatever, but it's kind of like shooting a goat. It's not really humbling, I guess, as much. When you shoot a bear, it's the king of the woods, especially here. And when you hear that moan, it's kind of surreal. It's a real moment, like a love-hate moment. You almost wish you didn't do it, but at the same time, it's like you tip the hat to them, like you outsmarted them, kind of deal. So, yeah, I like bear hunting for that.
I had a client here 2 years ago was telling me he'd been to Africa and he'd shot chimpanzees or bamboos or what are they called? Not bamboo. What's baboons? Yeah. And he said it was
a person.
That's what he said. He said it was a whole lot different when you go look at them and stuff after it's over. You're like, oof. He said,
little too close to home there.
Yeah.
So, what parts of the bear do you eat? Do you eat, and you can't eat them year round, can you? Because they carry diseases, or you just cook that out?
What's the
Like
disease?
trichinosis or
it's on
some
meat
shit?
eater all the time. Yeah, trichinosis. Yeah, it's just like pork. You got to make sure it's cooked.
Right.
You don't want to eat bear medium rare. You want to eat it cooked, and it's still really good. Like I make bear steaks, and I've fed them to people here that don't hunt, don't ever eat wild game, and I've cooked prime ribs at the same time, and they'll pick the bear steaks every
Really?
time. Let me tell you, they're good. Yeah, some bear you can eat. If you shoot a 500-pound bear or a 400-pound bear, like a big old boss, he's gonna taste like a dump. Just like an old
Sure.
buck. Some of them old whitetails don't taste that good. But we make steaks of them. I took
Does it just
full
when
shoulder,
you cook it like a
cut
steak?
it
Does it
off
look
and
just like a pork
smoked
chop?
Yep, basically.
Just like
yeah.
a pork chop.
Yeah, just butterfly them. Yeah, I did a full pulled bear
wow.
shoulder. I took the full shoulder, cut it off. Man, was it good! It was just like pulled beef, basically.
Really?
It was amazing. Yeah, you'd eat it every day of the week. It was that good.
Now,
It looks just like a pig roast or a pig shoulder.
do the way they taste, does that change as their diet changes throughout the year? So they go from, because they turn basically herbivore during the spring and summer months, don't they?
Yeah. So you can kind of tell, like, I've heard like guys that shoot them near dumps. Yeah. They taste like a dump bear. Yeah. They taste like dump bears, they eating garbage all the time. The bears that I shoot, I'm a beaver trapper. Right. So, and one of my best friends runs a Tim Hortons. So I have the two best baits for bears. I have all kinds of donuts, and I have an unlimited supply of beaver. Like we kill hundreds of beaver every year. So I just put them in the freezer. And so my bears are eating pretty good. So they taste pretty good that way.
Have you ate beaver before? That was a bad question to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since I
hit Razorback.
Fucking beavers have all lost their hair.
Yeah. Beaver hams. The lad cooked the hams one time about a buddy of mine, and I ate some of the hams. So it's pretty good. It's all right. I've heard it's terrible to cook though, because you're cooking all the woody. All they eat is wood. So you're cooking the woody stuff out of it. So kind of smells like shit when you're cooking it, but no, they're not that bad. I know guys that eat wolf hams. I don't know. I wouldn't try and eat a dog.
The Indians Indians love mountain lion. They say that it's a delicacy.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good. I don't know.
What about coon?
No, I know lots of guys that do eat raccoon though. They love it. It's just greasy, right? I wouldn't eat the damn things because I've skinned so many of them. Ugh. Yeah, stinking things.
Have you ever skinned a skunk?
No, I have not, but know lots of guys that do and sell them.
We've got a guy that hunts with us, and that's what he does. He skins. I wanted to know, and I didn't get a chance to ask him, do you just cut around that scent gland, that sac that sprays the shit, and then just throw that out like a bladder or whatever?
You only fuck up one time cleaning them.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, you're not really gutting it, right? So you skin around it and you try not to hit it. I tell you what's real bad is like a fisher or a weasel. Uh-huh. They got like a scent gland right around their ass, and if you hit that, oh man, it's brutal. I was a kid skinning weasels one time, and I hit it, and the shit shot out of my shirt. No. Oh fuck! I'd throw everything out. Oh man. Yeah, skinning. I skin lots of different stuff. I guess you guys don't have fishers there, right? Mm-mm. Fishers are like a great big weasel here. They're probably the apex predator around here. They're like a pit bull cross with a cat. They got cat claws. They got wicked set of teeth on them. They're like a small little Wolverine. They climb. They're fast. You get some big males too. They're the ultimate predator.
How do you
around
spell
here.
that? What is it called?
A fisher.
Fisher?
Are they like martins?
Fisher?
Are they like martins?
Bigger than a martin. Bigger than a martin. It's like a big martin.
Looks like a Wolverine almost.
Look just like a martin, but bigger.
See, we don't have them here.
A little smaller than a Wolverine.
A little smaller?
We don't have martins here either. Martin fur goes for a lot, though, don't it?
Yeah. A fellow that works for us, he used to, a big chunk of his income every year was his martin. He was getting like $300 a martin, and he killed a pile of them.
Cocksuckers.
That was the same fellow we trap wolves with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they'll kill deer.
A fisher will?
Kill anything. Kill dogs. Oh, yeah. I have farmers tell me
You got a
all the
picture
time
of
they
them?
see fishers on backs of deer. And
They'll take it down like,
Big ones,
are they
big
pack
males.
hunters or are they just solo? They can take down a deer
No,
by
you
himself?
might catch a pair
Let me
together.
see that again.
Yeah, like a small, they'll go after a fawn or a young
How
doe.
much do they weigh?
They
What's a fisher weigh? 30 pounds?
like 20 pounds.
You are right
20,
though. Like
20 pounds probably.
that's a weird animal. Like you said, he's got claws like a cat. He's got a tail kind of like a cat.
It looks like an African animal almost.
Head almost like a wolf or a coyote or a dog.
Do you see very many
Long
of those?
body like a mountain lion.
Do you see many of those?
You don't see them because they're real smart. Often you don't see them. But I got pictures this morning on trail cameras getting sent to me of them. They're all over my place. They're in the cedars. They're real hard on grouse and rabbits and stuff. Like we don't have near as many snowshoe hare around as we used to because of fishers. But it wasn't all that long ago. I was killing fishers getting I think I averaged $168 a hide, and now they're worth $20. And they're harder than hell to skin because they got no fat. They're full of muscle.
That would be
their neck's bigger than their head. They're just
It looks.
So they're.
What are they? Are
I'd
they
like
also?
to see one of those mounted. That's
They're
pretty
also
badass.
pissed off whenever you find them in the snares. Fight on your hands.
Well, I don't snare them.
You don't?
I don't snare them. I use Connie bear traps in a pail. Yeah, on a running pole. I've seen them alive. Caught one by a leg one time by accident, and it chewed the damn tree off. I mean, they're ugly, really ugly. Yeah, they their claws are so sharp. You'll be skinning them, and all of a sudden you slip or something like that, and they catch you. They'll slice you right open. Yeah, they're no fun. They'll be full of porcupine quills too. They'll mess with anything. They're smart. Yeah, they'll slash at a porcupine because the porcupine's retina runs on the bridge of its nose, and he'll slash the porcupine to blind them, and then grab them by the face and flip them over because there's no quills on their belly, and then kill them from the inside. Eat them inside out. They're smart bastards.
So the way that animals are in tune with how other animals operate, just like him, just knowing like, okay, I know where his eyes are, and I know if I can ever get him on his back, I can eat him. It's fucking.
Yep.
How many fishers had to get fucking poked before the fishers that we have today know, nope, I just got to get him on his back, and I know where his eyes are.
And they still get poked. That's the bastard of it. You'll be skinning them and then handling the fur and drive a quill into your hand or something like that. Almost all of them have quills in them. Yeah. Oh, man, it sucks. Getting stuck by a porcupine is no fun.
How do you get it out? Because it's got like other it's got hooks on it, doesn't it? The barbs, the quills do?
Yeah, they're hollow though. You can cut them, and then you pull them straight out. You can pull them. It's no fun. We've had to do it with dogs. I've had to put a chain in a dog's mouth and pull thousands out of a dog's face. It's one of the worst damn things you ever do.
So you just like basically bridle the dog almost and just go to town?
Put him on a table and just put it in his mouth because he won't chew on the chain. My good friend of mine had a Rottweiler, nice dog, but it tore into a porcupine one night, and it's full face. We were 4 hours till 4 o'clock in the morning, pulling quills out. 3 guys just holding that dog down. It was terrible.
This poor fucker.
Yeah.
I wonder. We had a dog out here. She would find the skunks. Hopefully, I mean, if a dog finds a porcupine, is he usually pretty keen to, hey, I'll stay away from it from now on, or do they have repeat encounters?
Depends what your dog's like. My lab here, he's pretty smart. He got whacked in the face and had 6 in his nose, and I've seen dozens of porcupines since, and he just goes up and smells them. He stays back. He knows better. But we used to have hounds, plot hounds. If you have a dumb coon tick or blue tick hound, they'll get into a porcupine and they get hurt. They get pissed off. They'll do it right again every time. Yeah, depends what the dog's like.
My dumbass brother one day, we were in Oklahoma scouting, and there was a porcupine in a tree. And he goes, I'm gonna kill this thing with a stick. I was like, this is gonna be some fucking a YouTube video right here coming. That dumbass is gonna knock that porcupine out. It's gonna land on him, and I'm gonna laugh my ass off. And it turned out it was a goddamn it was a bee's nest or a beehive that was up in a tree.
Could have been even better.
And he says, I ain't fucking with it. I ain't fucking with them bees. I was like, shit. But I was wanting it to be a porcupine so bad because I knew what was going to happen because he was going to poke that damn porcupine. That fucker was going to fall on top of him. And I was going to laugh my ass off. He wanted to get it mounted. He said, I'm going to kill it with a board and I can get it mounted. Which they do. You know, I've heard porcupines make really good pets too, and I don't know. They said
What
that.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Who's telling you this
There's
shit?
a guy. Ask Coach Howarth about it. There's a guy that the place up by Kroll.
I'm gonna look it up.
What's that state park up there? Anyways,
Copper
they
Break.
used to have a couple of them there, and the guy would. They make really good pets. They say. No, God, it's going to be 118-2 now is what's going to happen right now. That's what you're fixing to witness 2 on one show here.
A porcupine can be a pretty easygoing pet.
There you go.
But it can also be prickly. Yes,
Well,
it is possible to pet a porcupine. Wait a second.
Yeah. Again.
So do you have to remove the quills?
I don't think you can remove their quills. That would be taking all their skin off.
So what would you do?
I think they just pet them with like a leather gloves or something. They don't shoot it at you unless they want to. Correct? Is that right?
They don't shoot.
Yeah, they don't shoot
them,
the quills. They can make them stand up.
But they don't. I mean, if they're not threatened, they don't stand up.
So how do they release their quills? Or is it contacts you and then it pulls out, or do they release them?
I've seen 10 porcupines in my life. Maybe
I've
I'm
seen
not
2.
much of a porcupine person.
I've seen 2, and I didn't know what the first one was.
Well,
I was like, "What the?
Killed thousands
What
of those
the
things.
fuck is this?"
Well, Corey, tell people how to get a hold of you, and if they want to get some nuisance animals, how to get a hold of y'all.
Well, our website is Nuisance Wildlife Control Inc. or nwcinc.ca.com. And we just bought a store, Wildlife Control Supplies. We sell, traps. We sell some hunting gear and, whitetail food plots and all kinds of stuff. That's wcscanadastore.com. And we do that. The trapping keeps us busy for the most part, but in the wintertime, it's so cold up here, it's pretty slow. So that's where, and in the fall, I used to go guiding a lot and out west, and then in the wintertime, I just make calls. So
and then
I keep myself
and
busy.
they can find you on Instagram at give them your Instagram handle.
At Cory Alkerton.
Now, is your call company
Cory Alkerton just my
does your
name?
call company have an Instagram, or is it just your name also?
Just my name. I'm just selling them under my
There you
name
go.
right now. But I don't know. Yesterday, I might need one. I had 21 orders by 9 a.m. yesterday. I don't
Beautiful.
have a clue why. They just went through the roof.
Guy was pushing them on Facebook.
Yeah, I guess they're working pretty good. I got a new cut. Call making is something that I just always want to do. My brother and my father are both carpenters, so naturally I was always around a lathe and stuff. I'm not a carpenter, but I took it pretty honestly, I guess. And so once I got my spot here, I just started working. I wanted to build a call because I live on a little river system here, so I wanted to build a call. This is my grandfather's place, and then when he passed, I live with my grandmother here, and I wanted to build a call of the wood that he left here,
Wow.
and use it to hunt ducks on the river here. So that was kind of the story leading up. I never thought I'd be building calls for any type of money or anything, and that was all I wanted to do. And next thing you know, I built a few calls, and then, like I say, I guided for 8 years in Saskatchewan. So after that, I said, okay, I want to build a call that you can take probably the biggest waterfowling stage in the world, So I said, I want to go out there for 8 weeks and take a set of calls out there and get it done. So took a few calls out, and, they worked, and they probably weren't as good, not near as good as what I'm making now, but it's been a learning process. And I think with guiding, once you do waterfowl hunting for a living, it makes you competitive. And when I didn't necessarily quit guiding, but when I quit going to Sask, you gotta feed that addiction some other way. So I think call building is kind of the same way. You try and get better and better and better. And I'd say in the last 6 months, my calls have improved and improved, and guys are really catching on to them. And even last night, I thought I messed up a call last night, and turn around, I ended up probably one of the best sounding calls I've made yet. And I got myself a new cut, I think, right now. So a little bit shorter tone board, shorter reads, a little more snappier than what I have been building. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Call building's taken off big time for me. So it's keeping me busy. I don't know if I wanted to be that busy yet, looking back at it. The worst part is in the wintertime trying to build calls out in the call shop. it's cold as shit out. Trying to keep that shop heated isn't cheap either. So I ain't making a whole lot of coin building wooden calls. So
it's like Bob Ross says.
No, it's
no
good.
mistakes, just happy accidents.
That's right.
Well, you got a new call out.
We have really enjoyed visiting with you.
It's been a lot of fun.
How far are you from Stowe, Vermont? 2 hours?
I think I'm a little farther than that from Vermont. I'm to Lake Placid. I'm 2.5 hours.
Well, if I get up that way this fall, I end up every fall we go somewhere like that. If I get up close to the border up there, I'll holler at you and we can have a cup of coffee or visit one morning. I'd sure enjoy that.
Absolutely, anytime. I appreciate that.
Well, you be safe up there. It's been a pleasure talking to you, my friend, and be safe. And hey, real quick, rabies shots.
Thank you very much.
The rabies shots, is that a one-off? Or is it like you have to get multiple shots, rabies shots?
So you get a rabies shot, and then you can get like a booster, or what do they call it? There's a name for it anyways. You can get a booster after. I think I have them all. I'm pretty sure. And I didn't have to get a booster, though. It depends, like, on your levels and stuff like that. So they are good to get, though, because you don't want to get rabies. You only get her once. So
have you ever seen anybody?
There ain't no cure for it. No, I've never seen anybody that's had it. But I know if you do get it, you're dead. So there ain't no coming back from it. So it ain't good to deal with either. It was bad.
It's not a pleasant death either. I mean, it's pretty painful.
No. Well, look what it does to raccoons and stuff. It was almost 90% of the raccoons we were catching had it probably 5 years ago. It was terrible. You were just seeing raccoons wandering around in the middle of the yellow line, just right out of it. And the worst part about rabies is you don't know. They can go like 190 days without showing any signs of it. So you don't know if it's got rabies. It's not like every raccoon's foaming at the mouth and like you hear about. Their eyes sink back in their head maybe, but if they start acting strange, it can be mange, it can be some other distemper, but it also can be rabies too. So you always want to be careful. You get scratched by something like that, get it checked out.
All right, my friend, you be safe up there, and I'd love to have you on in the future. It's good talking to you.
Absolutely, anytime. Thanks, guys.
You have a good day, and God bless you.
That was fun.
Very, very interesting man. Very, very interesting.
It's a shame. You look at old trades like that. They're almost all dying.
Yep, but there's still a need for them.
I mean, but they're not compensated for what they do.
No.
You can't do it for free.
No, hell no.
That's labor-intensive work fleshing out those animals.
Yes, it is.
But, I mean, the fur trade is – and what's crazy is when you look at how massive it was 300 years ago, 400 years ago, the trade market, the fur trade market.
There's a show about that on Netflix.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And I can't remember the name of it. Frontier.
Yeah, I tried to start it.
I watched the first season. The second season lost me. The first season I really liked. The second season I couldn't get into.
I wish – that pisses me off.
Oh, Magic, the Showtime one with Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
That's a very good series. The first one come out. It's very good.
Jeff, message Payne for his login stuff.
Why don't you just tell him?
Jeff,
He'll give it to you.
Tell him that you got logged out and you need his login information. The stuff he gave me didn't work.
How do you know he don't listen to this?
He doesn't listen.
He doesn't. I know he don't. He told me, I've listened to y'all my whole life. I don't need to listen to y'all talk to people. It's a very, very good series, though. And then I started watching Snowfall last night about the crack epidemic, and it's a good series, too. Anyways, very good podcast today. I really enjoyed Cory. He's a really interesting guy.
Fun times.
Very good. I want to go up that area. I want to hang out with him, and I want to see Rory and visit. So, anyways.
Open the border.
Thank you. I ain't getting a shot, though. If they open it up without a vaccine, I'm going to do it. I'm betting you when we go to Puerto Rico in May that we don't have to wear a mask on an airplane.
I hope not.
All right. Thank y'all so much for listening to us. God bless you. Check out our Instagram. We're starting to have some giveaways coming up pretty soon. Got a brand new shirt coming out that's on our Facebook page. It's Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, home of the biggest cocks in Texas. It's a pheasant shirt. Anyways, thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all and have a great day.
Go check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Beef is ridiculous right now. Go check out Steak Plains Meat, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Gundog Outdoors, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Pacific Calls, Shin Gear Waders, Dirty Duck Coffee, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, and Alpha Outdoors.